The all-new DJ Swoo Breakfast.
Rise FM today. Now he's got a very long resume. He's done some amazing things in the entertainment space, and also he's just went on to grow himself as an entrepreneur. He's a very slick, smart dresser, and when you want to talk about influencing or trend setting in the lifestyle space, he's one of your guys. He is the guys that have played a major role in this current generation of hip hop taking the shape that it is taking right now. Guys that prefer staying behind the scenes and just exercising their passion. He's a GQ Best Dressed Man honoree, Media Studies and International Relations graduate, and a man behind South Africa's first black-owned vodka is joining us in studio to share how he's turned being cool into a business. And he's the founder of Showlove Events and director of Showlove Music. He's been behind some of hip-hop's biggest events and artists, including the discovery of AKA and just working closely with building the brand AKA, and Reason, DJ Fanatic, See Live. There's a lot of brands. I mean, you can't just name a few guys and just say Tibz has worked with a few guys. Tibz has worked with everybody in the game, including myself. He's also been behind the music of screen hits like Aye Aye and Tell Me Something, along with consulting for brands across the world. Welcome to the DJ Spool Breakfast. His real name is Tebello Motsoane. Welcome to the show, bro.
My brother, thank you, man.
Jeez, man, it's nice to intro you. I've been waiting for this moment for
I've
some
been waiting
time.
for that intro my whole life.
No, this is not even anything. Like, we decided to just take, the little part of it because your resume is very long.
Thanks, my brother. I appreciate it.
For those who don't know you, who are you?
Tebello.
Yeah.
I'm from Katlo.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Joburg my entire life.
Yeah.
Went to Wits. Had a basketball scholarship to Wits. So played ball, got injured, so decided to focus on school. When I left school, didn't really want to work for anyone. So by virtue of being in Joburg, I always knew my way around the clubs and the promoters and the owners. So I became a promoter, and as a promoter, things become pricier and pricier. So I decided to manage DJs so that I wouldn't have to pay them.
Yeah.
And then I could get them other gigs.
It's cheaper for you to throw.
I won't lie, that was the angle. You know?
Yeah.
So that's how I started managing talent. And obviously, you work with brands, learning about sponsorship, learning about activations, and then leading up to guys like AKA and so forth. And then, I've basically built my little company into a small agency, Showlove, and we do a lot of strategic planning for a lot of brands. We do their rollouts, we do their forward thinking, so to speak, which is, I think, where international relations really came in handy, because international relations is all about strategic thinking.
His name is Tibz. He's in studio. That's just a bit of a summary. When we come back, we're going to zoom into his life. Actually, when he says he's from Egro Lane, like, how did he grow up there? Like, how many brothers or sisters did he have growing up? Like, what type of an upbringing did he have? Which high school did he go to? How did he start his first company? And how's his album? There's a track called Phases. There's a track called Pressure. He's got an immaculate album. Like, I can't understand this boy as a teenager with some of the things that he said. Have you had a chance to listen to
I haven't stopped listening
Nasty?
to Nasty for me is like he's way ahead of his time, huh? Like in terms of content.
Yeah.
Like he's talking about issues, he's talking about love, he's talking about he's got so much varying content. It's impressive.
At that age, bro.
Yeah, I mean at 19 I didn't have that content, I won't lie.
Now you've worked with a lot of hip hop artists. Now
Sure.
before I actually want to just dissect your story a little bit. So you grew up in Katlehong to what type of family?
Grew up Komshweshwe. I'm an only child.
Okay.
Fortunately still have my parents.
Yeah.
My late uncle, Rude Boy Paul's dad, the late Temba Mnisi.
Oh, okay.
So he had a chain of stores called Tandabantu.
Yeah, Tandabantu, sure.
So I mean, that's actually where Showlove comes from.
Yeah.
So
Showlove, Tandabantu, yeah.
So he was like my original mentor in business, school holidays. That's where I worked in the store, ran around, did things I didn't understand, but I understand them now.
Everything.
Everything.
Nobody in general dealer type of
Everything.
Okay.
Everything.
Everything.
Everything. Like, I think that's where I learned about brands.
Yeah.
You figure out what people need as opposed to what people want.
Yeah.
If people are down to their last 20 rand, they get the basics.
And you don't have the choice because you work gugini.
Exactly.
Nasidlaleni namngageleza kanjani. One guy spy, no spy after school nje but spy that part spaza, you know?
Yeah.
And you were not aware at the time that you're actually being groomed to become an entrepreneur.
And sometimes they paid you, sometimes they didn't. You still had to work.
Yeah, but most of the time they have a part-time.
Yeah, very.
And did you have, so no siblings, just the only child?
Yeah, just me. I went to Sacred Heart College.
By Best Valley, right?
Observatory. Yeah. So
by the old YFM area there.
100%. So I was at Sacred Heart from nursery school to matric. I always say that's my parents' greatest gift to me, is actually putting me in a very, very good school very, very early. Yeah. And I know it wasn't easy for them.
How was that world for you, where you're in the other world, Ekasi, and you have to transition to the other world and come back again to Eloshin? And what did it teach you as a young teenager growing up in the country?
It taught me balance, and it taught me that you have to be good everywhere. It taught me like you have to be good in the streets, good in the boardroom. You have to look good in a suit, good in your sneakers. It's just everywhere you have to be able to adjust. And I think even today, because a lot of agencies, I think they get it wrong.
Yeah.
When they talk about LSM and demographic and whatever, I'm like, you don't know.
Pretty much almost all of them get it wrong.
All of them, and I'm always like, it's because you don't know us. So if you're gonna,
they think they do, but they don't.
If you're gonna gauge someone according to their salary, you don't understand the things that they grew up on or where they want to be. So how they approach brands and what they purchase is very, very unique. I mean, it's just black people in here, but I'm sure we all like different things.
Yeah, we like different things, different tastes, and it varies. And then this is you, Katlehong, and then Sacred Hearts, and then that's
then I went to Wits.
Okay.
I was very.
You're a vet, I didn't know.
Yeah, man. I went to Wits Tech for a year actually.
Yeah.
And
you were with us then.
Simply because I wanted to enjoy a gap year.
Yeah.
And my father said no, but unfortunately I had basketball scholarships everywhere, so I went to Wits Tech for a year, then I went to Wits to actually handle my degree.
So what did you study at Wits?
I studied international relations and media studies.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then this is you on campus. What are some of the things you experienced? Because my passion actually started on campus. I eventually ended up having to work at Channel T at Wits Tech, right?
Sure.
And then that's when I even started my community radio career. That's when I even heard about YFM starting. Yeah. Pretty much my radio career started on campus.
Look, I think my business career started on campus as well. I mean, I was always the guy organizing our fundraisers and whatever for the basketball club. Back then, Wits DJ Society was your milkshakes and your dimples and all those dudes. So I mean, we all know each other from campus days.
Yeah. And what are some of the things that you learned there?
Look, you learn that you have to stay interesting.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, for a consumer to give you 100 Rand to walk through your door before they've bought a drink, before they've done anything, like you have to be interesting. Like, what is it that you are constantly giving people?
What do you think makes you interesting?
I think the fact that I always approach things as a consumer.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I've managed talent, I mean, when we take it back to AKA, I was a fan before I was his manager, you know, and I'm still a fan, you know, and I think just the authenticity and self-belief and belief in products is it's always, people can see it. People aren't stupid, like if I don't wear suits, I can't tell you about suits. Do you know what I mean? If I don't wear sneakers, I can't tell you about sneakers.
Well, it's got a lot to tell us about food. It's got a lot to tell us about music, about events. It's got a lot to tell us about clothes. By the way, this guy is a good cook. This guy is a cook. This guy can tell you a lot about food. We're going to be talking interesting restaurants a bit later on. We're also going to be talking about his, I don't want to call it a music career, but how he started managing talent and who was his first artist, some of the things that he learned, and just the growth that he has had in the industry all the way to now being the first black guy to own his own vodka. His name is Tibz, and through your collaboration. I'm saying, your business relationship when you guys work together. How did it begin, and how did you even think about you getting into growing out of campus and getting into the music space?
It's strange because once upon a time I had to create a website for my company, and I was like, how am I gonna get people to actually check out this site? So I was friends with Gamza Ivy League. Gamza, and then they were all in this Ivy League thing together,
Yeah, I remember the group that were on.
So I asked Gamza for some music, and he's like, yeah, you should actually, there's this kid, AKA, So the first the first time there was music on a Showlove website was actually AKA Music, but I wasn't managing him at the time. So everybody started asking me, who's this guy, who's this guy, who's this guy? And then I would let him like just grab the mic at like my gigs. Just like, yeah, hype up the DJ, hype up the crowd. He would freestyle, he would get into it. At some point I realized that I'm actually managing this guy. You know, it was a very, very organic process. You know, we never like had like formal sittings as to, okay, this is what we're gonna do, up until we had to actually do it. So yeah.
Yeah. And how did the relationship grow? Tell us more.
Look, I mean,
because you know it's always important to keep sharing. One thing that I've realized about entertainment industry, we have to keep sharing our stories over and over, documenting it, because I've just realized there's actually even newer kids in the game who don't even know that I'm really a DJ. I've made music in the past before.
100%.
I'm like, I need to keep sharing and sharing all the time.
I mean, again, like I said, I was a fan first. You know, we became really, really close friends, little brother, big brother. You know, he's seen me go through a lot. I've seen him go through a lot. We've both had our fair share of relationship drama.
Yeah.
You know, and we've gone through it together. So I mean, that's my little man, and no matter what, you know, I think people also in the industry, people always expect fallouts.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we've never had a fallout. Like, my mind needs constant challenges, and for me, like, artist management was a period in my life. You know, like I went on to open a club. You know, now I'm getting into a beverage company. You know, there's still things that I want to try. You know, Euphonic was always like pressing me about property, and I'm like, let me learn. Like, I don't know it yet. Let me learn. Give me a chance. Maybe I'll do it in my 40s. Maybe I'll do it in my 50s. You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, with different stages in life, I think when you move on, people expect there to be a beef. You know, and there's never been a beef between AKA and myself. Never been a beef, even with my old company, Fifth Season. You know, it's just the stages in life, man, and you move on.
So you were partners with Raphael?
Yeah, Benza and I we started Fifth Season together with Ninel. You know, and again, there's things that Benza taught me that I'm eternally grateful for. But I got to a point in my life where it's like, I actually think Showlove needs me more than Fifth Season needs me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And obviously this is you starting to, you know the industry, because you're working with artists, you're doing events, you're meeting all these different people, politicians, business people, and obviously artists, which brought up. Oh no! Before I continue there, let me not jump the head honcho chapter.
Oh yes, I mean, literally.
See, you've been busy, man. You even forget some of your successful projects.
Literally, my first ever interview was on a blog called Encore.
Yeah.
And at the time, Nick Kauma was running that blog. So Nick, who ended up being my business partner and head honcho, is actually the first person to ever interview me about Showlove. You know, so then I was starting to do gigs around the country, and then we started talking about honcho. I came in as marketing manager. You know, we got into some shares, and then we had a great period together. But again, I think I outgrew the business of streetwear. Yeah. You know, I mean, I'm an older guy now. Like, as much as I love streetwear, like, I have to look a certain way and present myself a certain way. And again, it has to be authentic. So even there, no malice, no issues, no beef. It's just a period in my life, and I moved on. And
you obviously also got honored by GQ as the best dressed man in the country.
What
does fashion mean?
That's very nice of them. Yeah. You know, but fashion to me, I mean, it's something that I think I got from my dad. I got from my late uncle. You know, it was always that thing about being presentable. You know, like going to private schools very, very early, tuck in your shirts, polish your shoes, clean your blazer. You know, if you play sports, you know, play your sports, clean up afterwards, look presentable. I always say that I'm a basketball fan and a basketball player, and I'm like, the NBA, that entrance when guys walk to the change room, that's a business. You know what I mean? The way LeBron James looks before the game, the way Michael Jordan used to arrive when he got out of a Ferrari and he was in a suit, and it was like, I was like, that's what I want. So before the game, it's like you're already fixated on this guy. He has your attention, you know? And I believe that's what just great presentation is.
Yeah.
You know, like, before you speak, people have made a decision about you.
His name is Tibz, and he's in studio. We're chatting about his journey and some of the things that he's involved in. He's currently involved in a beverages company. Now, tell us about, let me see this bottle here, man. This is beautiful. Yeah, this is beautiful,
Thank
by the
you,
way.
brother.
Congratulations, my brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And coming from you, I know you know what it takes.
Yeah.
You know, I know you know what it takes.
I know what it takes, man. I know this is beautiful.
Yeah, I'm very blessed to have a very solid team. Honestly, They put in way more work than I do on the brand. I'm surrounded by young geniuses. We're 100% local. We're 100% black. You know, we manufacture here in Gauteng.
Yeah.
We use rich grains. We use wheat. You know, we are a quality product, man.
I want you to cover him when he talks about his product. By the way, you know, I'm used to being on the other side,
Sure,
and a
sure.
lot of people feel they're either giving you free mileage, but if you walked in here and you're an ambassador of syrup, people wouldn't have a problem talking about syrup.
Exactly.
I don't know if you're starting to experience that in the industry, because I'm experiencing it with my brand.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. First thing, people like, what do you know about vodka?
Yeah.
Or what do you know about this? You know, like, and I'm like, dude, I'm learning. You know, like at the end of the day, I've worked with brands probably most of my life. We've done the research. I mean, our team, like I said, I'm surrounded by geniuses. If you were to meet my entire team, like, I deal with scientists all day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like packaging. I don't think there's a better packaged bottle of vodka on planet Earth.
Beautiful stuff, and the name of the vodka is AU Goldcraft Vodka Gold Standard, and his name is Tibz. Young black man owning his own beverages company. Obviously, their first product being the AU vodka, black bottle, black and gold.
Yes, sir.
And distilled and bottled in South Africa, a product of South Africa in the country. And they're saying here, AU Gold vodka is a discovery like none other, a fine premium vodka. This is beautiful, man. It's just nice to see
Thank you,
especially black people creating and owning their own products. What is the importance of us owning our own?
I mean, look, ownership allows us to make decisions, man. You know, I think people don't get to say no because it's hard to say no to money. And a lot of the time, you know, you're dealing with people who dictate because you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So the more we own, you know, the more we can make better decisions, you know, for us and I guess employees, future kids, etc.
Yeah. And where do you want to take this brand?
Look, I don't think anything other than global.
Yeah.
You know, I believe that we have the best
From time to time, how do you get out of the friend zone? Some you just let it go.
No, men understand. You gotta be patient. You know.
Yeah.
You know, eventually, you know, she'll come around.
Say that again. You gotta be patient.
You gotta be patient.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you let her know that you're interested?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But you still lurk.
I don't lurk. I just I make sure that I'm within the vicinity. Yeah.
I have to ask you because you're also a cook.
Yes.
Tell us about your passion for cooking.
You know, my story about cooking. People always ask me, "How did you learn?"
Yeah.
You know, I used to be an obese kid. Like seriously.
Are you serious?
Seriously obese.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually that's why I started playing basketball.
Madlabonke.
You know, so doctors told my parents that, hey, this kid has to get on diets, otherwise he's gonna die, you know?
Yeah.
So I was on all these bland diets. I was so miserable. And I just figured out how to make healthy food taste good. And then I was in love with like Naked Chef. So I'd watch Jamie Oliver the whole day.
Yeah.
You know, and I would just try stuff, piss my mother off, you know, because I was just messing up her kitchen. And that's how I learned how to cook.
You love fine things. I mean, you've got your own vodka. You're a good cook. You love music. You love suits. You've been honored by the GQs of this world. You have discovered, and I say it with the utmost humility because you're very humble about it. But you literally discovered AKA, but you never, you know, verbally say so. But you have, because you played a very integral role in introducing him to the world. But you also are you're passionate about cigars.
Yes, I like anything that takes time. You know, I like anything that like there's craft to it. You know, there's a skill to it. And so like with cigars, just how long it takes to just make one cigar, like the process of it, like it just keeps me interested. And then just in terms of smoking, different flavors, you know, what it does with food, what it does with different beverages. You know, I spend a lot of time by myself. You know, so I smoke and I write my notes and I plan my life. So I've given up on smoking in the club.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a bit of a show, you know, when you smoke in the club. So I smoke alone, I smoke with some friends, but yeah, I enjoy it a lot.
When you started out in the eventing space and when you started introducing AKA to the world, hip hop wasn't what it is today.
Sure.
How do you feel and judging the game, what way it has gone to?
Look, I'm beyond happy. You know, I think we're only still getting started. You know, it's nice to see that guys are making some money. It's nice to see that guys are buying houses and, you know, guys are feeding families. I'd like to see more of the business side. I'd like to see guys, you know, getting those Pharrell G-Star deals. You know, I'd like to see guys owning their own products, creating their own products, and using their music as the vehicle. You know, you know, because that's the only way to maintain the control as well. You know, like your Steve Stouts of the world, your Kevin Lyles of the world. Like, I don't think there are enough guys behind the scenes doing the business. You know, guys are very focused on the music and the gig. You know, I think in between there's so much that can happen there. There's so much in terms of endorsements. There's so much in terms of lifestyle, and all brands use hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's the largest musical vehicle in the world. So I don't think guys here have really acknowledged that and taken ownership of that. But whatever it is, if you love coffee, you know, go get your Starbucks deal, man. You know, go get it. You know, like put your hand up and go get it.
Who are some of the guys that are playing on your iPod right now in your car?
Nasty C all day, A Reese all day.
A Reese, I'm hearing A Reese is nice.
Dude, A Reese is so nice. For me, A Reese,
I've only heard 3 singles. I haven't listened to. I must start jamming to A Reese.
A Reese is my favorite hip hop album this year.
Are you serious? Okay, I'm gonna start listening to A Reese. Jeez, I've been sleeping on the boy.
There's a young lady, Adrian Fu.
Adrian Fu.
Yeah, she's from Swaziland. She's a vocalist. I think she's amazing. Yeah, that's who I'm listening to locally. Yeah.
Where do you think the game is going?
I think if guys take the steps now, I mean, the game is going into lifestyle. The game is going into if you have a t-shirt brand and you're into design, I mean, you can design furniture, you can design buildings, you can do whatever you want. I think guys just really, really have to believe and take the small steps. I think a lot of guys like to skip steps, and then they make a lot of mistakes, and then you can't. I mean, you never get the opportunity twice. You know?
And where is Tibz going?
Me, I'm really, really big into building my agency. You know, the way I see it, I want to own my own products, and I want to be the agency for my products. You know, I don't want to wear other people's suits anymore. I want to wear my own suits. I don't want to use other people's beard products or whatever products. I want to have my own, and I want to be the engine to sell my products. So that's where I'm going, into 100% ownership from beginning to end.
I've been screaming this for all these years. I've been showing you guys for all these years. Some of you guys never took me seriously. Now the game is waking up, and I'm happy that Tibz is showing you guys how this thing is done. From our own music, our own books, our own content, our own clothes, our own energy drinks, our own alcohol, our own beard products, our own cosmetic products, our own hair, our own everything, our own cars, our own aeroplanes, our own everything, man. Our own cigars. Tibz, thank you, bro.
Thank you, my
thank
brother.
You, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Wishing you well. May the good Lord continue to bless you. May
you too, man.
You keep growing in abundance. May the family just be close and tight. May just your entire family get blessed, bro. You're really, really one of the guys that I've always looked up to, like from a distance, and from when you were coming up, from when you'd come give me props and we'd have those short conversations, 5, 10, 15 minute conversations, to what you've done with your life is totally amazing, man. May God continue to bless you even more, bro.
You too, my brother. Your entire team, just keep doing good things. I mean, this is important, man. We don't take we take these platforms very lightly. You know, and this is very, very big for us. Like, I don't take this lightly. Thank you very much, man.
Go get it. It's black and gold bottle. It's called AU Vodka. It's my boy Tibz. Showlove, local stuff, local brand. Go get it. And while you're at it, you know that gold and black and red can.
What a combo.
Which is a nice dash. What a combo. Konje, that dash, me, I don't even have to say my name anymore. I've moved on to the second phase where you don't have to say my brand. You just say, because it's the God-given. What's that?